At this time, I'd love to invite the crew from Fuck Feelings up to the stage. Please give them a round of applause as they come up. So we don't have a ton of time for this Q&A, so we're gonna keep it as nice and snippy as possible. So please, understand that I'll be speaking quickly only for that reason, because I want to make sure that we get a chance to hear from all of y'all. So firstly, I'd love if you could introduce yourself and your role within the film.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Samantha K. Tan. I'm the writer and director of Fuck Feelings.
Hi, I'm Shirley Kim Nguyen and I play Linh.
Hi, my name is Reagan Gift and I play Rue.
Hi, I'm Elisa Lianzo and I play Daphne.
So firstly, I want to congratulate you on an incredible, beautiful film that you've created, all of you. And because we're doing this kind of nice and tight, I'm going to ground the Q&A in two concepts and then ask you all a question within it. So the first one I wanted to name is inspiration. And so when I say inspiration, kind of think about the first thing that pops in your head. And so the question that I want to ask, and we'll start with you, Samantha, is what inspired you to create this film? And for the cast, when you received the script for this, what inspired you in the development of your character? Or anything else that inspired you when you read the script? And so we'll start with Samantha and then we'll move down to y'all.
I just want to say thank you so much for Viet Film Fest for having us. It really means a lot to be here. And our cast and crew, they're all amongst the crowd, so thank you all for coming and thank you for your hard work. But yeah, Fuck Feelings is a personal story of mine, and seeing a lot of, essay or in this topic portrayed in film TV, I feel like there's a lot of misconception that healing is an automatic thing and an overnight thing, and seeing these topics portrayed, it's very misleading. And I just wanted to remind survivors that it takes time and it's totally okay to break things, to be angry, to cry, to be messy, just because you have the right to. And I also want to make it like a love letter to the community out there, because it really, or the survivors community, just because it really does much affect them as well.
Thank you. And for the cast, yeah.
Yes, for me, and thank you for friends and family for coming. This is my first time having my family at my screening, even though this is my third Viet Film Fest, so that's really cool. For me, I actually met Samantha through another project, and we got together because of that, and I was actually curious more about her writing, and I really wanted to get some tips, but she actually basically offered me the script, and for me, it gripped me because it was a personal story, and it was different because, and this was something I asked right from the beginning. I asked, why is it that it's not about the actual thing that happened? And it was because the point was, it's not about the offense, the offender. It's about your own healing process, and it should not be affected, or that should not affect your healing process. So for me, that was the gripping part.
This film was super, it was an amazing opportunity to be a part of such an amazing and important story. And I found inspiration sort of amongst the cast and the crew and Samantha, because I mean, the strength to be able to bring this to screen and say this is a story that I can relate to and a story that many people in the audience or many people who view this can relate to, and take such a delicate topic but make it so incredibly profound and make it very a place for people to use their voice. I thought that was very, very inspirational for me, and I, as Rue, wanted to bring sort of the very delicate nature of being someone's support system, and I wanted to know how could I play that in a way that was so important, and then getting to meet all the cast and becoming so friendly with them, becoming friendly with Samantha. She did a great job of picking amazing people to come work on this project. So in a way we were all each other's support system for something that was such a heavy topic to be a part of, and that kind of all melded into the love that came across on screen. So yeah.
Awesome, and if I could just stay with you for 1 second. And so then when you were thinking about yourself as Rue and being a support system, how did you think about your role as the friend? How did you think of that role?
Well, Rue is this lawyer. She's this very stoic, very girl boss character, and I think sometimes, especially when you're a woman of color and you're supposed to be this pillar of strength in your community and your families and your relationships, you always find it hard to peek behind the mask. So for Rue, it was she's seeing her friend in the state and knowing that her friend has gone through this, what is the peek behind the mask there for her? And so that's kind of where I drew on and where I explored for her character a lot.
Thank you.
For me, I play Daph, and kind of how Daph was described was she was the mom of the group. So she was the one who always packed snacks, always checking in to make sure everybody's doing okay. And I feel like I actually took a lot of inspiration during our Zoom audition, or Zoom rehearsals. We had a few Zoom rehearsals where as a cast we were talking through different topics of how long has the friend group known each other, how tight-knit are the relationships between each individual member in the collective group here. And I feel with that, we were able to get deeper backstories on how this group kind of operates. And then you see, Law's not here, but Law played a lot of the humorous roles in the script. And I think each individual one of us had a I think it again goes back to how a lot of times, and what Shirley was saying, it's not the event itself that happened, but it's the aftermath of your support group, and having every one of these members, your friends, show up to support. I feel was really, really important. But yeah, it was just a lot of those discussions that were really, really heartfelt for me, that I took a lot from.
Thank you so much. And we only have just a few minutes left, and so I want to stick with this concept really quick about support. Because firstly, I want to say that the history that y'all created in the process, whether that's through Zoom or outside of it, that, for me at least, really, really came across on the screen. I felt the history and the tenderness between the friend group. So I want to stick with that really quick to talk about how did you use this concept of a person's support network to kind of build what I see as a friendscape within the story. How did you do that?
It is very much a friendship story, and speaking from my own personal experiences, I unfortunately didn't feel like I could share this experience with my family. So I really, really relied on my best friends. Rue is actually based on one of my best friends in the crowd, Kenny Jackson. Hello. Shout out to the friend. Obviously this is a great ensemble and it does take time to build that chemistry. So we actually had a few hangouts. Two. Basically for props, we had because we wanted to reenact their moments together as friendships and take photos for the apartment. So we had a pool day, we had a froyo day. For a table read, I made a bunch of Vietnamese dishes for them.
That's in one day.
Yeah, all this is in one day. Yeah. So we spent like the entire day together. I felt like we did something else too, but it was just through rehearsals and the props photo shoot day, we really were able to create this wonderful community too. And you know, these guys are just amazing people. So it was very easy to do that.
And then if anybody else from the cast would like to share anything about that, the tenderness that I think you all held through your journey in the film, if anyone would like to share anything about that, feel free to in your last few minutes.
I just have to say that it's such a testament again to the amazing people that Samantha brought onto this project, because we meet up every so often, and I can't say I do that with a lot of people from my previous short films and the projects that I've worked on, but we just meet up and we hang out and we have food, or we sit on the rooftop and do karaoke. It's been really such a pleasure getting to work with these people, and I'm glad that the love and the friendship comes across on screen the way that I feel it in my heart. So, I love y'all.
Awesome. And with that, I mean, I have a million questions that I could ask, and I'm sure that y'all can as well. But again, the work behind each of these characters is really there. The other word that I wanted to say, if I had enough time, was levity, because I think the play between lightness and heaviness, the work that you did, Serena, on camera with weight, was so 20 seconds, maybe just working with that weight and the heaviness and the lightness, just 20 seconds, and then we're gonna close out.
Yeah, actually, it just came to my mind too, because we mentioned just law just now. Because I did at one point, because Linh is so involved in her pain that so when I am not fully in character, I would talk to Samantha I feel too involved. I feel my instinct is to see how Lisa is doing, how Reagan is, but then I would be reminded that's the reason why everybody's there to pull Linh out of it, and law is the perfect foil for that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds. Yeah, of course, amazing crew, but we also had an intimacy coordinator on set, also in the crown, Hannah Quyen Ngo. Even though there weren't explicit scenes, I really wanted to create that safe space for people mentally, and again, great crew.
I love that. Thank you so much. And for everyone else in the crowd that has more questions, the filmmakers will be around after the screening, so find them to ask further questions and keep the conversation going. With that, let's give a huge round of applause to the crew.